And a happy Thursday night to you, USA. Welcome to the Nexus and the world. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Time we take a set aside for a little bit of Torah talk, a little bit of Torah chat, and look at this week's Parsha, among other things. jamestheidolsmasher at gmail.com is my email address. We do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, right here on Rumble. You can also watch us on YouTube and catch up on nearly 10 years of past episodes there on YouTube as well. Of course, we're on X, so hello to everybody out there in Twitter, X-Twitterville, the X-Twitter, the X-Twitter. Rosalie Jordan joining us as usual, and you are invited as well. You'll see a link over here, a StreamYard link. Click on that, and that'll get you in here. All you need is a microphone and a good attitude, a love of Hashem and His Word, and we'd love to have you in here. Any kind of debate or question, comment, compliment, suggestion. Hey, come on in. We'd love to have you. Hopefully my camera won't be flickering in and out as much as well. We are in what do we call a Shemitah year, right? So we have an extra month.
Yes.
See, every there's a commandment.
I don't know how long. Yeah, it's a leap year. It's a Jewish leap year.
Yeah, there's a commandment in Torah that says that that Pesach, the Passover, must happen in spring. So there's the Jewish calendar, like we have we're in a leap year right now in the solar calendar, Gregorian calendar. We get a leap year this February, an extra day. Well, in Judaism, it's every 33 years, I believe. Yeah, a month is added, and this keeps Pesach in spring at all times, which is kind of neat. But Rosalie, what you were telling me before we went live, we're in like a mini Purim.
Yes. So I shall say Hag Katan, Katan, Sameach. It's like a mini Purim that started tonight and goes through, I think, Saturday night, but I'm not really sure. It's somewhere along those lines. So I don't know if we're expected. It's supposed to be a really holy time for doing penance and doing mitzvahs and prayer, and that's what I know. So I don't know if we have been commanded to read Esther or not. I'm not sure, because regular Purim will be soon. I think in a few weeks from now.
Yeah.
I think 3 or 4. Yeah, next month I think. But I'm not real sure, because this thing they started talking about it, and I got busy and I only could hear a little bit of it, and my brain's not as good as it once was. I'm not as good as it once was. Thanks, Toby. Keith. And so certain things kind of slip away.
So this is we're at the time when a very special time. Certainly the year itself is a rare event. 3 times a century, and that's it? Twice, maybe?
I don't know.
Well, one of the things
I'm a plethora of non-information. Sorry, guys.
No, you're not always. You get some good stuff in there once in a while, so I keep you around. I'm kidding.
So anybody, just say your prayers, say your I'm sorry's, make up for it, try to be better. You know, it's a particularly holy, powerful time of the year. So,
and of all years to have it done too. This is a time when a lot of us here in the States, especially, I think Canada's got some work it's got to do as well. But if we're going to save this nation for what little we have left on this earth, now is the time to do it. And
don't vote stupid. Okay,
that's true. And the old adage, I want to take the ticker down because the old adage we discussed became one of my favorite memes. There we go, right there.
Exactly.
We had cell phone outages all across the nation. Did you hear about this?
AT&T, yes.
Yeah.
Uncle Mike was one of them.
Yeah. Well,
yep. He wasn't. He did a show an hour ago. Yeah, I saw that. I love that. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, I don't have AT&T, so I didn't have a problem. But it's like, yay.
Yeah.
So he got his back on this afternoon. So he's down there in Texas. Yes, sir. And so
they have ways now. You can get FRS, the walkie talkies like you get at Walmart. That anybody buys. They're called family radio service walkie talkies. You can actually have the not this particular model, but you can buy these and work and have your phone work off grid. It's an app you put on your phone, and it uses GMRS and FRS signals, and you can use your cell phone off grid. It gives text and geolocation information you can send over there now. So there's ways and means of getting around these things. But anyway, now's the time. Prepper is a whole different thing in Judaism because we're really trying to prep for the Mashiach. And self-sustainability and common sense is part of it. Which leads to our question. Of course, tonight's the Parsha tonight. Tetzaveh, it's basically we're getting the details of Aaron the priest, his robes, his vestments, duties, that sort of stuff. So I want to talk about the coming age of the Kohen. We've been in the age of the rabbi now for about 2,000 years, I believe. Is the rabbis who have held together Torah observant Jews worldwide. 2,000 years. It has been the duty of the rabbi. There haven't been judges except for maybe divorce cases that are within the community. They've been in diaspora, and even if they lived in the Holy Land, it's not been that easy for them to. So there's really no judges. There have been no priests. Do we have priests today? Yes, we have Cohen, we have Levies, we have they're alive today, but there's no function. Kind of like the Ger. We're here. We're just waiting.
They're practicing.
Is what we're doing.
They're practicing. Yep.
And
I just had a really bad thought run through my mind. Thanks, atheists. Yes.
Go ahead.
Aaron in his clothes and everything. Yeah, the head Iron Chef. Okay. Right. I know. The head Iron Chef. I go, that is mean. It's like, go ahead. You have a barbecue here Friday. It's gonna be cow, lamb, or cow, lamb, or dove. Or goat.
In a way, it is.
I know it. Like I said, the head Iron Chef. It's like, oh, really? Stop.
He does anoint the horns on the altar.
Oh yeah.
That's part of his duties. So we talked about the Mishkan. I want to talk about what is holiness.
Right.
Why the need for it? Why the need for things to be separate? Because if God was all around us and we were all attuned, we wouldn't. But there's something in human nature that needs that needs that separation. And the future of Christianity, something I want to bring up. A lot of people are getting pretty hard on our Christian cousins, and some of the Christians are being pretty hard on the Jews as well. I saw a video today about a Jewish fellow who heard the voice of Jesus in his head, and it helped him get sober and get back on his feet. So he's a Jew who believes in Jesus. I don't have the link to the video at the moment, but he was going around Jerusalem, a city he says was hostile to Jesus. And went around to Jewish.
I lost your picture. Are you there, or is that me? Okay, you're back.
Might be you.
You're back.
I'm monitoring us on a couple of platforms here tonight. So what was I saying?
I don't know. You had your finger in your mouth. Jesus and
So
the sober guy.
He goes to Jerusalem, saying that it's a city that's been that is very hostile to Jesus, and asked about and went around talking to Jews, and then say, "Am I wrong?" And he would ask that would be his thing: is am I wrong? Am I wrong for doing this? And he would cut the video. It's like when he'd ask a young Jewish man this, and then he cut it as if like he couldn't answer, and he would cut off anytime a Jew would try to say something to him. Because you could tell they think about what they're saying, about what they're about to say. They're on camera. They have a Jewish guy here in the Holy Land, and he cuts them, and he just cut off the film and go to another question. It was almost hilarious. They become increasingly hostile over there. The missionaries. but it's going away. So what do we make of it? What's the future? I mean, where are Christians going to go? I'd like to know that from you. I'd like to have you, if you want to chat over here in the side chat, please do. I'm monitoring us on Rumble as well, on YouTube. So what do you think the future of Christianity is? If you're a Christian, I'd love to hear from you. If you're not Christian, but you're in the know or you've got ideas, we'd love to hear that question of the week. I want to read, if I may, Rosalie, something from Dennis Prager's commentary on the Torah, second book, Exodus, God, Slavery, and Freedom. It is the first publication in the Rational Bible series. We're waiting for Leviticus.
Okay, I'm gonna pop out and I'll be right back.
Okay. This is in the during this week's Parsha. He's giving commentary on basically the first verse of chapter 28. You shall bring forward your brother Aaron with his sons and among the Israelites to serve me as priests. Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron. Aaron was a Levite, the brother of Moshe. But he has I thought something was really great, really simplified look at the role of the priest. I think that's where we're going. I think we're entering into the age of the priest, the age of the Kohen. It won't be just the age of the figure in office, if you will. But I think that's going to drive humankind. I think that is the priestly notion, what it is to be a priest, to care for others, to minister unto others, all the things we associate with, good priests. We can go off and talk about all the nasty stuff and but in general, at least in the past 2,000 years, it's a bit different. So, from the Rational Bible, The Role of the Priest by Dennis Prager. The modern Bible scholar Jacob Milgram makes an important point that the welfare of Israel depended on both Moses and Aaron. Moses served as the prophet, the sublime ethical voice conveying God's word to the people, while Aaron served as the priest, the ritual leader responsible for helping people connect individually to God. Both are necessary for a meaningful religious life. The priest had four major duties. 1. The priest dedicated himself to living a holy life and helping other Jews come closer to God through Jewish ritual, which at the time consisted primarily of sacrifice. As noted, other rituals performed by priests included blessings with the people, with the priestly benediction, Numbers 6:22 through 26, redeeming the firstborn son, Numbers 18:15 through 16, and blowing trumpets to convene the people, both in joyous festivals and in times of war, Numbers 10:1 through 10. That the trumpets were sounded by priests is also made clear in Numbers 31:6. 2 of the four major duties of the priests. Number 2, the priest treated physical ailments such as disease and plague, which were thought to be not only physiological phenomena, but also sometimes embodiments of spiritual imperfection. See Leviticus chapters 13 through 15. Also Numbers 12, which depicts Miriam as afflicted with a serious skin disease for her speaking ill of her brother Moses. 3. The priest judged disputes and instructed the people and the king in the laws of the Torah. This is Deuteronomy 21:5 and Deuteronomy 17 and 31. When the judges couldn't come to a conclusion, when they could not make heads or tails of it, it's to be brought to the priests, and they decide after the courts can, if the courts can't. And 4, the high priest, by wearing an object known as the Urim and the Thummim on his breastplate, provided the medium through which God would communicate positive or negative responses to major national questions. See verse 30 in this chapter, also Numbers 27:21. Jacob Milgram notes that the Torah does not make clear how the Urim and the Thummim worked. The insignia of the Yale University is the breastplate of that the high priest wore, complete with the words Urim and Thummim in Hebrew. Yale, like nearly all old prestigious American universities, was founded by Christians rooted in the Torah and the rest of the Hebrew Bible, initially for training clergy. I'm going to skip by a few things and get to some nitty-gritty. Priests were not allowed to have any contact with the dead body. In this important regard, they were fundamentally different from Egyptian priests who were responsible for ministering to the dead. Egyptian religion and culture were focused on death. The Torah, on the other hand, wants its adherents to be preoccupied with sanctifying this life. Thus, the absolute barrier was erected between the Israelite priesthood and death. B. Priests had to wash their hands and feet prior to entering the temple or approaching the altar. They also had to be dressed in a manner that radiated sanctity. And C, a priest could not marry a woman who had been a prostitute or who was divorced. Leviticus 21:7. Regarding the first instance, priests were expected to serve as models of holiness, and fairly or unfairly, if it became known the priest's wife was a former prostitute, it could hinder his efforts to be regarded as a holy man. When the Torah is read aloud in synagogue, the first person called to bless the Torah is always a Kohanim. At daily services in Israel and holy services outside of Israel, all the priests present in the congregation wrap themselves in their shawls and bless the congregation, reciting the words with which God tells Moses to instruct Aaron and his descendants to bless the Israelites. Numbers 6:22-27. The words are known in Jewish life as the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction. And finally here, a firstborn son, one who is both male and the firstborn to his mother, is supposed to be dedicated to God and to perform religious services for the priests. On the 31st day after the child's birth, however, the father can pay a priest 5 silver shekels, Numbers 18:16. Today, $5 in silver coins is generally used to have the child released from this obligation. The ceremony of redeeming the firstborn is still practiced among observant Jews.
Did we lose Jam or just me? Check one, too.
You still lose me? Hope not. Okay. We'll pop in, pop out. So a neat reading. And there's a lot more like this. I really recommend this series to anybody, Christian, non-Christian, even if you're agnostic or atheist. And you don't have to be a believer, but it's a really good book written by a great guy who's and it's not all him, as you can tell. Are we there, Rosalie? Are we there? Can you hear me? So far, it looks like I'm. It's working on my end. Okay, so we're getting through on Rumble and YouTube. Apparently, I'm sorry if we can't hear you, Rosalie. So the future. We'll try it again. Here we go.
All right, now you're back.
All right. Okay. Good.
I didn't know if it was you or me or both of us. So I popped out once and you put me back and you still weren't there. I was like, okay, well, I tried again.
Yeah. Well, good. You're back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the priest, and that's what's going to be the host of the house for all nations, if you want to look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're there to set an example. It's hereditary, which is good. I mean, you can teach this inside your home, even if Judaism was not allowed, or Torah reading wasn't allowed, like it was in a lot of places Jews lived over the years. You could still teach inside your home, and the kids could still learn. So having a hereditary priesthood is smart, is wise, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting to hear from you out there. Yes, you, my favorite viewer. We've got folks on X, we got folks on YouTube, and we have folks over here on Rumble as well. Come on in. We'd like to hear from you. You got a question, comment, compliment, complaint. We do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. You can say, if you have questions throughout the week, write them down and bring them in. We'll see if we can get it from a non-Jewish yet Jewish perspective. We are not Jews. Rosalie and I are Gerim. We're Ger, or Ben Noach. Some use the word Noahide, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we love Torah. And the more we learn, the more we're questioned by it. The more we learn, we get questions. So it's good for everybody. And it's a lot of fun, in my opinion. So what about the average good old Christian who's just does their best in this world? A lot of Noahides like to give them flack, and I can understand when you're fresh out of it, or why you would want to go after it. It's like people who worship idols aren't just suckers; they're stupid. I was like, no, it's not that. No, I mean, if they were stupid, then God wouldn't command it for everybody. It wouldn't be for the stupid. God doesn't say stupid people don't do this. He says you don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. That's a terrible way to look at it. It's a terrible way to look at it. I can't stand the religion myself, but I can sympathize with it. I can empathize with it. And frankly, Christians do their best. I really believe that there is a good basis. Of course, it's Torah. It all comes from Torah. It all comes from the Hebrew Bible. But even so, is it really all evil is what I'm saying. Is idolatry? Yes, it's also shituf. If it's shituf, they say it's allowed for the non-Jew because they don't disregard the God of Israel. They don't put him aside. They don't, they just add other stuff to it. I'm not saying Christianity is going to survive. I'm saying that maybe I should be talking about the future of the Christian. Because how's it going to be when they realize that they were lied to the whole time? Not deliberately. Our fathers have inherited naught but lies. Our fathers inherited. That means the people who taught us, there's no guilt in that. There's no shame. There's no anger. Other than, we've been taught lies. We want to go with you, oh Israel. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What say you, Rosalie?
I don't say nothing. I'm just listening. I'm just trying to keep everything. You're spinning around again. I hope I'm not off. There you go.
Hanging in.
I'm
Glad
just
you're
hanging
here.
in. I'm just hanging in here.
Let's get a hot floor reading in before we go over to Rumble.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could find anything on the Purim Katan. So, and I'm not coming up with anything. So,
I'd like to know more about that.
I would too. Okay.
All right, we're going to get over here. The Haftorah reading. The Haftorah is a reading of the Hebrew Bible directly pertaining to the Torah portion we read this week, but it's not of the Torah itself. This week we're in Ezekiel, Zeke, 43:10.
Yes.
And the link that you'll see in the description is a link to not only the Torah portion this week, which is rather dry in many ways. You're going to know what the high priest will look like by the time you get done reading. There ain't no detail left out. Okay. You will know. Very special priest, very special man. But it's a little dry, but God instructed. So this is what we do. It's a good reading. I know Frank loves reading. Frank, old friend of the Nexus from a while back, he used to love these kind of Torah portions. the numbers spoke to him. The way they were described really spoke to him. So, anyway, chapter 43, verse 10, Ezekiel. 43, chapter 10, or verse 10, chapter 43. Here we go.
I don't know. The first line just got me. It's like, it stands out to me.
Oh, you son of man.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you there? Okay. Am I here? Okay. Because you're cutting out. Yeah. I mean, it says, you son of man, describe the house to the house of Israel. It's like, wait a minute. Okay. That's different. That's different. Okay. That caught my attention. So go ahead.
And then when he calls you son of man, that's never really a complimentary thing. In Torah, it never seems to be.
Adam.
Here we go. You son of man, describe the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities. Let them measure its plan. And if they are ashamed of all that they have done, let them know the form from the house and its scheme, its exits and its entrances, and all its forms, and all its laws, and all its teachings, and write it down in their sight, so that they keep the whole form thereof and the laws thereof, and do them. This is the teaching of the house. Upon the top of the mountain, all its boundary around shall be most holy. Behold, this is the teaching of the house. And these are the measurements of the altar in cubits. The cubit, 1 cubit and 1 hand breadth. But the base one ordinary cubit, and such a cubit also for the breadth. And likewise on its border, going 1 span to its edge all around, and equally so the very top top of the altar. I found out recently a span is this, from pinky to thumb.
Okay.
I didn't know that till recently. It just popped out. And from the base on the ground to the lower edge shall be 2 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit. And from the smaller edge to the greater edge 4 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit. And the altar here shall be 12 cubits in length by 12 cubits in breadth, square to its 4 sides. And the ledge 14 cubits in length by 14 cubits in breadth to its 4 sides, and the boundary all around it half a cubit, and its base a cubit all around, and its ascent will look towards the east, which is north, as we discussed, talking about the Mishkan, the tabernacle. North in Judaism is east, the rising sun. The temple opens to the rising sun. Yeah, okay. And the ledge. Did I read the ledge? I did. I do believe I read the ledge.
We're in 18. Yeah.
And he said to me, Son of man, thus says the Lord God, these are the ordinances of the altar, and on the day when it will be made, to offer burnt offerings thereon, and to sprinkle blood thereon. And ye shall give it to the priests, the Levites, who are of the seed of Zadok, and who are near to me, says the Lord God, to serve me, a young bull for a sin offering. And ye shall take of its blood and place it on its 4 horns, which is the altar, and on the 4 corners of the upper edge, and to the border around. And you shall purify it and make it fit for atonement. And ye shall take the bull of the sin offering, and he shall burn it at the end of the house outside the sanctuary. And on the 2nd day you shall offer a he-goat without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall purify the altar as they purified it with the bull. When you have completed the purification, you shall bring near a young bull without blemish and a ram without blemish from the flock. And ye shall offer them before the Lord, and the priest shall cast salt upon them, and offer them to God as a burnt offering. For 7 days shall they effect atonement for the altar and purify it and dedicate it. And when they have completed the days, then it shall be that on the 8th day and thenceforth the priest shall make your burnt offerings and your peace offerings on the altar, and I will accept you with satisfaction, says the Lord.
Okay. Alrighty then.
And this is, this lets you know what's coming. This is what will be done. Whereas in the Torah, it's being taught directly to the children of Israel via Moses. If they're ashamed of all that they have done, let them know the form of the house. Just kind of give them a picture of what's to come.
Very interesting.
Say that one more time, Rosalie. I'm sorry.
Very interesting.
Yeah, this is what's coming. That's what he said there. I'm trying to find where, because that stood out to me. It's like, this is what will be when the time comes for you to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's house. The Lord will finally be one.
Mm-hmm. He and his
earth.
name. He and his name shall be one.
It's going to be a pure language.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be no religion. You can say a pure religion. There won't be religion. There won't need to be religion. It'll be Torah or bust. There'll be nothing else. And Torah's not even religious. It's behave. Now, yes, there are things that the priest has to do for priest's sake and for the sake of all Israel.
Right.
I have much of my notes today.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't low expectations, because you're going to get, that'll just lead to destruction. Some say it's a lot. It's too much to handle. Too much to think about. And I don't want to, they don't want to think that, they don't want to talk about, they don't want to go there. Let's talk about happy things,
Right.
I go to religion for comfort. It's comforting. Well, life isn't. Life is very discomforting. Isn't it? I mean,
yes, it is.
And still choose life.
Right.
You have it one way or you have a blessing and a curse. Choose life. Right. All right, YouTube. We're gonna do the rest of the stream on Rumble. Hoping to get some folks in here to chat. I'd like to hear you. Have you come over if you want to head on over to Rumble or at the Idol Smasher on Rumble, at the Idol Smasher and James the Idol Smasher at gmail.com. Click on the links, do all the things, hit the like button and all that good stuff. We appreciate you watching, and YouTube, we appreciate you saving all of them. There's only one that got taken off, and I did that before things got out of hand. So,